Hi everyone, it's Don and I hope you're having a fantastic day. Well, we have more incidences happening in Amsterdam. We have a surprise for some guests in Greece who get on their ship, and it wasn't a good surprise. We also have a breakdown of a very, very expensive cruise that they can't make speed now and have to change their itinerary. And then we have cruise ducks back in the news. And believe it or not, this time, I might actually have to agree with those who say, yeah, don't do this with the cruise ducks. So 2 days ago, an oil tanker as well as the Serenade of the Seas were blocked by Extinction Rebellion in Amsterdam again, at least at the locks that head to Amsterdam. The protesters were there saying that they want a complete end to the cruise industry because of the escalating climate environment stuff, I guess. About 5 protesters tied themselves to the locks and delayed the cruise ship and the oil tanker from getting through. Police did show up and sort of arrested them. They took them away, but then just released them with no charges a few hours later. So really nothing, no consequences, nothing really happened again. So this will continue to go on and on and on until they finally decide to do something in Amsterdam. So if you're sailing out of Amsterdam, Rotterdam in the future, just keep this in mind that your cruise could be delayed or your cruise port could be moved to another port at the drop of a hat, at the whim of 5 or 6 protesters. Next, we also have the Voyager of the Seas in Greece, and passengers got on board and were surprised when they went up to the buffet and they were getting something to eat, and they went over to the drink machine and it was just spewing pure syrup out there. And it was kind of weird, and they thought it must be a drink issue and everything, but then when they visited the public bathrooms, they noticed there was no running water. Nothing in the sinks, the toilets wouldn't flush, and after going to guest services, they found out, yeah, this was a ship-wide issue. Apparently it took about 3 hours to get the plumbing back up and running. Meanwhile, there was no hand washing, no water available on the ships, no toilets, etc. throughout. At least they did get it fixed in time for the sailing of the ship. But that would have been that was a nasty surprise for some people who were rushing to the washroom, and then bad news, you can't flush. Yeah, not a good thing. Like a panic stricken over my face would have happened if oh my God, I can't just leave this here kind of thing. But yeah, it did get fixed and before the sailing. So that is at least good news. They got that up and running. Imagine going on a cruise where the plumbing, I know we had the poop cruise with Carnival many years ago, but can you imagine going on a cruise and the plumbing doesn't work for 2 or 3 days? Imagine how horrible of a cruise that would turn into and how quickly that would turn into a really bad situation. We also have the Celebrity Flora, the newest ship that was built for the Galapagos Islands by Celebrity Cruise Lines. I've heard nothing but rave reviews from people who have taken this ship on that itinerary, and this is one of the ships I want to go on when I go into that destination. However, they just reported to guests that they are having to change the itinerary because they're having propulsion issues. Now, the cruise line has not gone into how extensive these issues are, how they are going to get. Remember, this is a remote location. It's not exactly around huge repair facilities as well. So who knows how long these issues may be going forward. Now, they did say that they have to book these kind of schedules for their itinerary in 2-week supplements. And so they're working with the Galapagos Islands and everything to give the guests the same experience that they would have received on the original itinerary and make sure that it's a once-in-a-lifetime experience. They're not going to miss out on the rare nature of that area. But it must be concerning to guests who are about to go on there when you find out you're not going to go to the destination you thought you were in this particular case, right? That is one of those bucket list cruises, and they're not cheap. They're not cheap. They're small ships. Only a few are allowed to go, and you book these well in advance. So basically every cabin on there is like a suite. So picture that kind of cost. They have the Celebrity Expedition and the Celebrity Explorer, but later on this year they are handing that over to Lindblad Expeditions, and they will be renamed under National Geographic cruise ships. I think the Gemini and the Delfina. So they're only going to have the one ship currently out there, the Celebrity Flora, and let's hope they get these issues with the engine fixed as soon as possible, so guests on upcoming itineraries don't have anything change. But if you're on the Celebrity Flora in the future, remember, we don't know how long these issues are going to last. They haven't gone into details of what exactly is wrong with the propulsion system. They did say that they will be offering compensation to the guests, but again, no details yet on that particular compensation package. Next, cruise ducks. Cruise ducks are back in the news, but before I get there, let me just invite you to hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so already. If you want to keep up to date with everything going on in cruising, from the ports that might be affected by protesters, to ships breaking down, to the good things that are out there, like, man, I thought the iceberg thing would be a kind of a waste of time when we went out to Greenland, but boy, it was one of the most amazing shore experiences I've ever had, and I would do it in a heartbeat again. Things like that. Tips and tricks that might make your next cruise just a little bit easier and maybe even save you some money in the process. Hope you'll join us. Doesn't cost anything, but it really does help the channel when you hit that subscribe, leave a like, and make a comment down below. And again, I really do appreciate it. Okay, let's talk about cruise ducks. We know that Carnival is big on cruise ducks. They say they're not going to take them away or anything. People like to take the cruise ducks, hide them, and there's usually a website you can go or take a picture of it and post it to somebody's Facebook page. It's just a fun thing. Some people get their kids involved to go and hide them. It's not really too intrusive, too much on a cruise ship. The trouble is now, some people have now brought it off the cruise ship and are now hiding them on shore. Not only are they hiding them on shore, they're hiding them in places like UNESCO World Heritage Sites, like the Colosseum. They're hiding them in places that are very strict with what can be put there, what can be hidden, what can be on display. Yeah, and I kind of agree with this. As much as I think, okay, here's the Colosseum. It's a huge building. Somewhere in the Colosseum, they hid a little rubber duck this size someplace. I get it. It doesn't show up very much. But history and World Heritage and everything is what people are coming to see. And it can take away from the experience a bit. And the people at the World Heritage Sites don't want to have to find ducks and clean them up. They don't want to hide, pick people's trash up and move them around. They don't want to do that. And one of the reasons I'm saying maybe we shouldn't be doing this is because we don't want to give the anti-duck cruise people a reason to start telling the cruise ships, look what they're doing. They're tampering with World Heritage Sites. They're tampering with people on shore. Now they've taken it off your cruise ships. You need to ban them. And so we don't want that to happen in the future. But I'm fine with them on cruise ships. Maybe not in some place that's a World Heritage Site. Maybe we should leave World Historic Heritage Sites, World Historic Sites, and not tamper with them. Well, leave a comment down below. What do you think? Do you think it's perfectly harmless? Or do you think, yeah, maybe this should be just keep it on the cruise ships? I hope you appreciate this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Want to see more tips, more tricks, more travel vlogs from around the world? Hit that subscribe button. Until next time, have yourself a safe and a great vacation.